It's daybreak on the Rise News, and it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages, and we'll begin with our own sister publication, this day newspaper. Atiku, work of Nigeria's next president, already cut out. It's uniting the people, with about 2 riders there. It says rallies, youths, women support weaker PDP governors. Stakeholders meet in Abuja. If you look just below the picture there, Navy, we've recovered 25 billion naira stolen crude in 4 months. And then INEC, PVCs will be ready October, November. Wants voters their cards and their meal ticket. Wabote, how absence of local content law cost Nigeria $380 billion capital flight, 2 million job losses.
The Punch newspaper this morning, its leading story, voter registration, says stranded applicants lament, seek extension, INEC adamant. Some riders there, thousands miss registration in Enugu, Ogun Plateau, and blame officials. Let's take a look at more headlines here. National Assembly proposes 63 new varsities. And just above the nameplate of the Punch this morning, Nigeria needs a leader who can take tough decisions. This is coming from Oshomole.
Okay, let's turn to the Nation newspaper now. And it's leading with planned attack, security on the alert in Lagos and Enugu states. Nigeria, others plead with G20 for debt service extension. 2023, we will back power shift to south. That's according to the group Pandef. And a union criticizes government takeover of 5 discos. That report is on page 28.
Let's go to the foreign papers, and let's look at what the Guardian is saying. Well, it says game changes. That's what it is saying here. Guardian, game changes. And that's a picture of the women team of England. They beat Germany 2-1 in the final.
Yes, let's take a look at Financial Times, leading with the Euro 2022 stuff of dreams. Lionesses take Euro victory. And just below that, West eases Russian oil curbs as inflation and energy risks mount. And for the press preview, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello, who joins us from our offside studio. Emmanuel, good morning, happy new month. Thanks for joining us. On this day this morning, it's leading with what the presidential candidate for the opposition People's Democratic Party is saying. He says the work of Nigeria's next president is already cut out, and for him that work is to unite Nigeria. And following the trajectory of what's going on in the country, definitely it's more than that for the next president. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts? He can't.
I doubt he did hear us. Very well. That's, I mean, the former vice president has been speaking to the youth, and just before I get into the former vice president's comments, I hear that the governor in Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has met with some PDP governors and some of the members of his presidential campaign. Well, we didn't hear much of what they discussed behind closed doors, but it looks like things are turning around for the PDP's fortunes.
Definitely, and that happened alongside this meeting that Atiku Abubakar had with what they call the new generation as well. And it's looking up a little bit for PDP if Governor Nyesom Wike is having meetings with other PDP stakeholders. Allegedly, that meeting was to find a way to reconcile the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and the PDP presidential candidate Atiku, although that meeting was a closed-door meeting, but that was allegedly essentially the undertone of the meeting. Now, back to the headline on this day, Atiku speaking about work being cut out for the next president. like I was posing the question to Emmanuel Bello, who couldn't hear us, the trajectory that we're following right now in the country, ASU striking, that 2 weeks ultimatum they gave the government is going to be up today or tomorrow. Insecurity everywhere. We're living in fear in the nation's capital. Lagos State, Plateau State, Enugu, they're tightening up their security. We have the economy dropping, naira devaluation. So basically his thought of uniting the people is definitely more work than he should expect if he goes on to become president. And I understand that he's speaking in a place of religious disparities in the country, ethnic disparities in the country, which most of these are the reasons we're having insecurity in the country. So I understand his undertone. What do you think, Indy?
Oh, well, I'll talk more about what's his name, Wike. I've just come to realize that what happens in the political circles is that people talk for purposes of their interests. They make statements, they make comments, they want to draw the people they feel are against them or not on their side out. I gathered that from a discussion I had with the top political APC week, who says he's waiting for them to respond. You know, that was what probably Wike was doing. He just throws in the gauntlet there. He says it's going to reveal things. I mean, I was wondering then and there why he didn't reveal it. But I have come to realize what they do is throw the gauntlet out there, make some statement so that people, their circle, can run around, you know, which is what has happened. He's holding a meeting now with governors, trustees, and people of his campaign council so that there will be unity. You may not say there's a huru yet there, but we watch and see how that plays out, whether PDP gathers its acts together. And then concerning what the former vice president says, well, and like you said, it's not just about unity. There's a lot. Actually, I was reading Simon Kolawole's piece, you know, where he talked about he's actually not, he's actually in pity for whoever is going to be the president of Nigeria.
Of course. I mean, it's
because the person is going to have a lot to grapple with. And on the insecurity reporting, it's not so much as putting fear into people, but the fact that, look, this is what it is, so that the security, like we heard the police say, no, people should not fear, people should rest. The whole idea is to know that something like this is happening, and therefore they need, you know,
to be cautious.
That's it. That's just what it is, so that people, okay, I think we have Emmanuel there. Go with your question.
Okay, Emmanuel Bello, if you can hear us now, welcome back. And thanks for joining us. Can you hear us, Emmanuel? Good morning.
Loud and clear.
All right, great. So we're taking a look at what Atiku, the presidential candidate for PDP, is saying about uniting Nigeria. He's saying the next president has his work cut out for him. And I was just trying to ask you, following the trajectory that we're seeing in the country, is that just enough? Is that the only work for the next president?
Well, no, not Nkechi, not really. I was listening to in this submission on that while we were trying to rectify the sounds and all of that. And Indy is right. It's beyond uniting. Of course, that's a huge problem for anybody coming, because we have never been divided this way along the fault lines ever before in our history. Those who are conversant with the history of our divisions from independence, or even before then till now, the fault lines of religion and ethnicity. It's been brought up, and basically the person to blame is this president, who a lot of people say that he has not, whether it's by his body language, whether by calling some people the dot nation, whether by his appointments, and there are people that will blame the president that he has not really done a lot in trying to unite us. He's done he did his best. At least he balanced even the fact that he has a religious leader, Sibanjo, as the vice president. But his party recently did the Muslim ticket, further deepening those fault lines, the fears, the suspicions, the apprehension in some side cycles that, look, they could be alienated or they could be, sidelined. So we're living, so Atiku is right that one of the first thing that everybody seems to be worried about is the fragility of our unity. The fact that there needs to be some kind of cohesive pulling factor, what unites us, what makes us a people. And if you listen to that speech of his, he say that is not who we are. That currently the way we are stationed or the way we perceive ourselves is not the way we are as a nation. That we used to be united, we used to be better. But of course, the problem of disunity and the fact that you don't have that federal character, that thing that brings us together, it's always been there. But what everybody has said is that you need leaders, leaders that can manage our diversities, leaders that can look at our various, the way we look in this country and bring us together, because there could be strength in those what we actually think divide us. So we need leaders, the kind of leadership and leaders that will speak the kind of language that Atiku is talking about, which is uniting people, bringing everybody to the table and ensuring that we forge ahead. That's what nations all over the world are doing. So yes, by far, he's got some other problems to deal with. But yes, if any leader can actually be a unifying factor, that leader will be able to rally around our energies, galvanize us towards a uniting front and presenting a uniting front to be able to confront the other ills, the other terrible ills. India was pointing to those, the issues of security, the economy itself. Those are huge crises for anybody that is going to be the next president of this country.
Interesting submission, Emmanuel. Over the weekend, we saw moves by the Christian wing of the All Progressives Congress. Would I call it waging a war against the ticket of the party? If you could take a look into your political crystal ball, Emmanuel, what does this spell for the ruling party?
Well, for one, yeah, those meetings you're talking about, Kenneth, they were actually at the instance of the Christian coalition within the APC, who are still really angry with the Muslim ticketing and trying to see whether they can actually, continuously rally around the Christian votes out of the party, because the party has made it so clear that, look, this is the ticket we're going to go with. It's something that a lot of people have harsh votes for, and Yakubu Dogara, Babachir seem to be leading that offensive. Apart from the summits, they actually made they had meetings into the night with the likes of Governor Wike and all that. For now, there are speculations about what those meetings are all about, but Yakubu Dogara, former speaker, and Babachir are very clear about their stand on the issue of the Muslim ticket. They are very clear about it. They are saying that, look, it's not going down well with the Christian community, and that unless the party, and at this point I don't know if they can actually get the party to rethink this ticket, because the party seems to be very clear about its resolutions around that ticket. But they're emerging as the warriors, if you like, Kenneth, of the Christian group within the party, and saying that, look, the Christian has been de-enfranchised in that party, especially. But there are people who have come with strong criticism against them and say, are they speaking now because they personally feel that they be shortchanged or what's going on? But they were very clear about it, that, look, the ticket is one that does not augur well for this kind of thing that Atiku is talking about, the issue of national cohesion, the issue of the ticket reflecting who we are as a people, our diversity, especially along those very strong lines. Babachir, in fact, saying that the next election is going to be basically about religion and nothing else. For those who were trying to separate what the party did as a political move and the religion issue, say, look, the Muslim ticket will not go away. So, Kenneth, what we're saying is that the issue is not going away. Attempt by the APC to explain it, that it was done out of expediency, it was done to garner votes, it was done as a political move. It doesn't seem to be shifting the needle any bit. The Christian coalition, especially in the APC, have really decided that this is not right. And now we're seeing the emergence of what they call the APC Christian leaders within the party itself, and they're becoming a pressure group of sorts within the party. They are remaining in the party for now. They've not moved out, but they are fighting the Muslim ticket within the party. If there's anything we're going to see coming, crystal ball, like you say, if I look into that crystal ball, I see a situation where many of them might not want to continue the party. They might have to actually move out to seek not only redress, but of course relevance in other on other platforms.
All right. Well, when someone says election is about religion, that becomes dangerous. I'm sure you'll agree with me on that. But let's look at what the Punch says. It says Nigeria needs, that's Oshomole, former chairman and former governor of Edo State. Nigeria needs a leader who can take tough decisions. That reminds me of Simon Kolawole's piece, and maybe even the Muslim ticket may be one of those tough decisions. You never know.
Well, indeed, yes, tough decisions, but you have to also take decisions that reflect realities. You can take tough decisions. It's also tough decisions to go to war, for instance. Tough decisions to make appointments. It's tough decisions to be able to do what is not very popular. But you also have to take decisions that take into into cognizance all the factors. So decision making is a very tough thing on its own, because you have to consider all the indices involved in taking those decisions. So it's not just about doing what is brave, what is courageous, what is bold, what is even new or novel. You have to also do what is realistic, what makes sense, what will sell, what you can defend. So in making decisions, making bold decisions, you have to also bring in all this into it. So if Oshomole was saying that, well, the person they're going to campaign for took a bold and unpopular decision, then they have to also live with the consequences of those kind of decisions, because it's one thing to take decisions, it's another thing to also reap the fruits or the consequences of those decisions. So yes, beyond taking bold decisions, you may have to also take decisions that are reasonable decisions, because right now the APC is bogged down by this ticket. We have argued with you over this back and forth on and offline about this matter. So we say, look, the APC is not gaining new friends with this. It does not, like Atiku is saying, this ticket does not really reflect the aspirations of many. The best you can say is what the party has been saying, that okay, fine, if you don't like it, go elsewhere. That's what the party seems to be pushing to everywhere. But as far as decision making is concerned, you have to take decisions that are bold, yes, but you have to also take decisions that are, even if they are not popular, but at least realistic and humane, and with a human face, a decision that everyone, at the end of the day, give or take, people can say it makes some sense.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello. That's the press preview.